We made a return visit tonight, first weekend of the season, to Basement of the Dead out in Aurora. One of our favorites from last year. What'd you think this year?
Oh, excellent again. Fantastic. Except from the waiting area entertainment through the whole house. Actors everywhere. I mean, they were just all over the place. Fantastic. Top-notch actors. They all stayed in character. Some really great scenes. They actually had a twitchy nurse doing the twitch, which was really cool. I like that. That's like the new thing. That's really cool. And but I mean, everything about it. I mean, they had some really cool like props and animatronic. They had a couple of. If I had to pick like a favorite scene, probably the one with they had these two big spiders. One was coming down over you, and another one was like coming at you, which was really cool. And like I said, it wasn't a really long hunt, but it felt a little longer than it was because it was just really kind of, I wouldn't say intense, but it was just really good. And I look forward to like going from one room to the other to see what was next. And like I said, the actors, they were following you, and no matter where you went, they were right there. And by the end, they were just like everybody was surrounding you, but they weren't like bad, like too like in your face or screaming or anything. They were just like staying in character, and like I said, it was very entertaining. But there were some creepy scenes too. There was a scene there was a church, with the pews, and then a creepy nun and like a devil guy. That was a great scene. But overall, excellent. I mean, it was great last year and great again this year. I give it a 5 chainsaws.
Okay. And what about Shattered, the 3D experience?
Oh, 3D, that one too. I really enjoyed it. It was very entertaining. I liked the clown, like they was taking the tickets, it was letting you in. I mean, he was great. He was like jumping up, down, and doing different things and staying in character. He was great. To me, he was entertaining too. And it was before he even got into the haunt. So, anyway, and I just mentioned too with the line, we had to wait, but when you were, the line entertainment, they had a DJ, they had like a ghoul DJ, and he was playing some good music. He played like, You Could Be Mine by Guns N' Roses, which is a song I haven't heard in a long time, from Terminator 2, and I like that song, so that was pretty cool. And, they were playing all different types of music, which was good. So, I mean, like I said, even though we had to wait for a while, I mean, at least they had entertainment going on. But, anyway, back to Shattered. It's a really well done 3D haunt. It's not your red and blue standard like 3D glasses. They're actually like more like the theater ones, the clear ones. And I mean, the 3D was great. I mean, as soon as you put it on, you get everything just like was sticking out. And the actors once again in there were really good. I mean, they all stayed in character. There was one scene in there where they had an ice cream truck, but they had like a video in the window, and of course they jump out and everything. And I really enjoyed that one too. I mean, Shattered it was a whole completely different experience than the Basement of the Dead part, which it was like night and day, but each one was just very enjoyable. I really loved it. I give it a 5, highly recommend it. 5 chainsaws. For both, actually. Shattered too, because as a whole, I'd say both. They both get 5 if you combine them together. Because it was a really good experience overall with both.
Okay, so how many chainsaws would that be then?
5.
Okay.
5.
Okay, overall, there's really a lot to say about this haunt. It's hard to encapsulate everything that is going on in Basement of the Dead in just a little bit of a review, but just try to make it short and sweet. This haunt is made by the sets and the actors and the enthusiasm in particular for the actors. All of the actors here have some really great costumes. Custom-made stuff. It's not just some guy or a girl in a rubber mask and some costume that they made themselves. If they did make these themselves, they're really exceptionally good. All of the masks are very unique and different. For example, there was a girl in the haunt that had a teddy bear sewn to her face. I mean, it was just real. The mask was this teddy bear over her face, and the eyes were cut out, and you see these teddy bear arms and legs hanging off of her head. It was just unusual. You don't see things like that. A short haunt. It's about 12 or 13 minutes, but it really seems a lot longer. One of the things that they do really well is actors will jump out at you from one scene, and then they sneak around and they hit you again in the same scene when you're walking through it, and then they'll jump in between. So when you're walking from one scene to the next, they're there again. So in most of the scenes, each of the actors will get you at least 2 or 3 times when you're walking through there. And there are multiple actors. So there are actors coming from the front, from behind, from the side. They're everywhere. And all of them stay in character. One of the things I noticed when we were walking through the whole haunt is several of the actors would follow us from scene to scene, behind us. Just far enough behind us that you knew they were there. And it increases the creepiness factor because you could sort of feel them behind you. I have to point out that the 2 nurses, Laura mentioned the shaky nurse. There were 2 of them. One of them was shaky. She was doing this thing. And then there was another one who had a knife. And she was standing still, and she'd turn around and she'd point this knife at you like this. Well, she followed me as we were walking through the whole thing, and she would walk very stiffly, and then all of a sudden she'd go with the knife. And it was just funny because she never broke character. And it was a little short girl playing this nurse, it was, or doctor, whatever she was. It was great. So if I had to pick a favorite scene, there were many to choose from, but I would have to say there was a church scene. It started out with catacombs, where you walk through catacombs, and as you turn the corner, of course in the catacombs there's some hooded figure that comes after you naturally, and as you're turning the corner, there's this creepy nun who's in a full nun's habit, and she's got a white face and black eyes, and she comes out of the catacombs at you, and then you go around the corner, and there's this devil guy with red face and horns, the whole 9 yards, and you're walking through the pews, and you got the nun on one side, you got the devil guy in front of you, and they're harassing you in one way or the other, but not in an in-your-face, annoying sort of way. They're sort of very creatively doing it, and yet they follow you through the whole thing. That's one of the things that I think was really a hallmark. I also have to mention, there was a guy who was speaking to me in some language that I didn't understand. I'm assuming he made it up, but it was a nice, clever touch. He wasn't talking English. I have no idea what he was saying, but it was really sort of unnerving to see that kind of thing. And again, walking through the haunt, there were times when there were actors in front of us, following right alongside us. You could just see them out of the corner of your eye, and they followed you through the whole thing. You always had this sense of somebody's behind you, just out of your eye, line of sight, and you didn't necessarily want to turn around. Great atmosphere. Fantastic, really enjoyable haunt. Great combination of sets, actors, costumes, enthusiasm. Very well done. It's very rare that we say a haunt seems longer than it actually is. But this one's really good. And Shattered's great too. Great 3D experience. So both of them, 5 out of 5 for me.